Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom preview streams. I am joined by my good friend Jake. Jake, how's the international break been treating you? Get my words out eventually.
Been fine, mate. Not really paid much attention to it, to be honest. I did actually watch the Italy game, but
Mm.
didn't really watch any of the Australia game. So, just been relying on Twitter updates of how people have been doing, whether they're injured or not for this coming week, and hoping that none of my players are injured. So, yeah, it's been fine as far as I'm aware. Nothing has impacted my fantasy plans. Not that it really matters.
Well, you say that. I saw some things on Twitter. I know we spoke briefly today about your transfer plans, and I did see something that might impact them. So we'll come on to talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, other than that, game week 8, it went all right. I'm trying to remember what actually happened because it's that long ago. But I
Yeah,
think it
that's
went all
true.
right for us both. I'm pretty
Yeah.
certain.
Oh, I went Oh no, it didn't go fantastically well for you. That was this weekend, wasn't it, at Mansfield?
Oh yeah. League Two football. It's where it's at. It's where it's at. All the county fans were giving me jip in the old TikTok chat a few weeks ago. Where are you now, lads? Yeah. Shh. Send that to your friends. But yeah, we will dive on. If you do have any questions about your team, maybe a wild card in this game week, maybe you just want some information around players who've been on international break, or you're just a little bit stuck for who to transfer in this week, do get them in the comments, and me and Jake will try to answer them the best that we can. But we're going to start off with Jake's team in game week 8. Give us a quick recap of what happened if you can remember, Jake. It was so long ago. 55 points for you on the board. Pretty respectable game week for you, I'd have to say.
Yeah, it definitely could have gone worse. It's a respectful game week for myself
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
up to my standards. Um, but yeah, no, I was pretty happy with it. I am stalling as I wait for the YouTube chat to like fast forward so that I can actually see my team. Okay, I can see it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It has been that long though, hasn't it? That you're just like, Jesus, what actually happened? What went well? Oh yeah, so I went for that last minute transfer, bringing in Armando Breuer, and don't know what came through my head there, and it kind of paid off for like 5 minutes when I was like, oh, he's starting, and then
Mm.
reality set in that he wasn't actually going to do anything regardless. So that was a bit of a shame, but then of course Jackson came on and scored, so that saved my bacon a little bit. Probably a bit of a waste of a transfer, but I was just like, screw it. We've got a whole 2 weeks to wait before football again. I just want to do something rogue and just hope for the best. Now that I'm sitting here 3 days before the deadline, I'm kind of regretting my decision. But at the time, I'm happy I did it, and I would do it again. I know I would. You know I would.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
100%.
so yeah, but yeah, you are right. You know what? Screw your stream. I'm just gonna get the team up. Um, it's just so hard to see. Yeah, no, Pickford did actually really well. I think I must have finally got his well. I think that might be his first clean sheet this season from the seams. It definitely whilst I've had him in my team, so that went well. Mark Gahey was good. I think I'm starting to realise that even when Palace have a difficult game, Mark Gahey seems to be their best performer on fantasy at the moment.
And
Uh,
Anderson as well. Both of them really
yeah,
good.
they're just so consistent. I think, well, yeah, they've had 3 clean sheets in a row now, so they are even when they're not winning, they are denying the opposition a goal. So it just shows just how resolute that defense is and how strong Mark Gahey and Anderson are as a partnership. Um, Disappointed with the rest, to be honest, of the whole team. I must say, I think the only thing that really saved me was Salah's performance against Brighton.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was just typical, wasn't it, that everyone was going, Son is the man, Son's the person everyone should be captaining. We did ooh and ah over the fact that Gandhi might have a say in that and that Luton could upset Spurs. And quite frankly, Gandhi did all he could by getting Basuma sent off, the fool. I don't know what he's doing going down like whilst on the yellow card diving.
Yeah.
But I think when that happens, you're like, okay, Luton actually have a really good opportunity here to nick something. But then they just weren't good enough. And Spurs did what they had to do. I think the red card probably didn't help Son as well, but it's just one of those really typical that everyone would have probably captained Son. Well, a lot of people would have been tempted to, if they were going to avoid going for Haaland for once, would have gone for Son, I think.
Yeah.
It's just typical that Salah was absolutely fantastic and Son was non-existent if we're going to just rely on his points. So, yeah, overall, bit of a shame that was what I went for rather than backing my team, but at least Salah, Pickford, Gahey, and Jackson made my week decent. It could have been so different, though. I don't know if you caught any of the Forest against Palace game, but Gibbs White was whiskers away from getting me a much needed few extra points. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that. I don't even think I watched the highlights for that one.
The ball was just pumped downfield. I don't know if it was the keeper that did it.
Yeah.
Or if it was a centre half, but it was pumped downfield and he just looped it. Like, it wasn't quite Kasami for Fulham. I don't know if you remember that.
Familiar.
He hit it really nicely. Just dinked it over the keeper and it hit the post, which was a shame. First time as well, which would have been really satisfying, but wasn't to be. But yeah, like you say, I beat the average, which is a big thing for me.
Hey lad, you beat it by a fair way as well. 11 points. I had a look at your rank rise as well. I think the last time we did this, you were about 4 million. 3 million, mate. So progress. It's all there.
Watch your back, son, is all I'd say.
Right, let's move on to your team for this week. Let's see how you're lining up and talk us through your potential transfer plans. And you know what? I think, personally, I was looking at your team at the start. There's a few issues. But other than that, I think you're in a pretty good place, to be honest, mate.
I think this team that I've got here is actually they've all got fairly decent opponents, the players, I would say.
Yeah.
I think the only place where you'd maybe question it is the Chelsea game against Arsenal. But then Jackson looks like he may be a doubt anyway. I haven't made my 1 free transfer. Like I said, wish I had that second one, but what can you do? I do think that there is a wild card coming, but I was and iron over it. I looked at it briefly the other day and I saw the fixtures that those players that I have got to look forward to. And like you said, they don't look that daunting. So if I can maybe sort out my strike force, then we might be onto something. Because I'm happy with Turner, I'm happy with Gibbs White, their Luton game. I do think Forest should be winning that at home. The derby, God knows what will happen there, but if you're going to back a team, you would back Liverpool there, regardless of it being the early kickoff. But like I said, it's a derby, so anything can happen. I say anything can happen, but it shouldn't do at Anfield, really, should it? Because it's like a cursed ground for Everton.
Yeah, that is true.
But yeah, and then I have got the one thing I will say is I've gone here for Son captain against Fulham, and I think I am going to stick to that purely for the fact that Salah is playing in the early game. That's the only reason why I'm reluctant to go for Salah, because I do think he's got a good record against Everton. But I might last minute change it because I'm in work on Saturday, so I'll have the game on, so I might just be all hyped up and excited and change it to Salah last minute. But I think Son's not a terrible decision to go for, despite him having a quiet week, because he'll have a quiet week and then burst out and get a hat-trick the next week. So that's one of those. Other than that, I think everything else I'm happy with. I think, of course, I'm aware that we've got Gahey and Gordon and Cash and Paqueta kind of clashing.
Yeah.
But I guess this week, with looking at it as a whole, I don't think it's too bad, and I'm not in the mood to wild card this week. I feel like it's worth just sitting on it another week. But yeah, there are a few places I can decide on where I want to make a transfer. But I think, if I'm being sensible, I think the best place to change a player would potentially be a striker. I'm not sure what you think.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, to be honest. Depends what sort of budget you've got for that forward position.
I can tell you I've got 0.7 mil before I take a player out. So if I took Breuer out, I'd have 5.6. And if I took Jackson out, I'd have 7.6.
Okay, that's a little bit of a difficult one then, to be honest, isn't it? I know we spoke about Nunes, but obviously someone's come out and said that he was what's the word I'm looking for? Suffered with a little bit of fatigue and cramp towards the end of the Brazil game. And obviously he's going to be late back to England with the international flights. Mm-hmm. You being the early kickoff as well. It just smells of him being on the bench. and maybe only playing about 30 minutes of the game.
Just depends on who plays instead, though, because I don't know is Jota back yet or not?
I
He
think,
was
yeah,
two.
I think
Is
he's
it just
back.
one game?
Yeah, I think Jota's back.
So it's just so I assume they'd have to put Jota up top because Gakpo's still injured, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
But then the thing is, though, Diaz is going to be late back from international because he's playing tonight.
really?
Yeah, he's playing for Colombia tonight, so he is 100% not starting that game.
But then that means Jota, you'd think, would play on the
Yeah.
left, wouldn't you?
Yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it? It is a real tough one, and especially with Liverpool's good fixtures coming up as well. You know, it does
I
pose the
think I think
question.
Darwin isn't a terrible shout. Darwin's affordable as well if I
Mm.
was to sacrifice Jackson. And with
Uh,
Jackson being a doubt, what is Jackson's doubt for?
he picked up an injury on international. He came off in one of their games, so that's one.
Chelsea's run's a bit poo.
It is really poo till about game week 16, I think. Other options I think you could potentially go for. Dominic Solanke. They've got Wolves and Burnley next. He's been pretty consistent at the start of this season. I think he's got 3 goals to his name and an assist.
At home as well in both those games.
A player that I know me and you are quite fond of, especially you, is Lyle Foster. They've got a really, really good run. They've got Brentford, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, then Arsenal, which is a bit shaky, but then West Ham, Sheffield United, Wolves. He could be a Broja replacement.
He could actually, to be fair. That's not a bad shout. Then again, like I feel like it's one of those where, well, actually, I've already got him in my draft, haven't I?
You have.
Don't know if I want to double up on someone like that, but it's a good shout. It is a good shout. It's a shame that Solanke's so expensive because Solanke for Broja and Darwin for Jackson would be lovely, but Solanke's really risen in price.
The only other player that I was going to recommend is a player that I've got in my team, and that's Højlund.
Yeah, I did see they've got a fairly decent run. Sheffield United, Fulham. It's just what do you expect from United? 1 minute you don't know, the next minute he does look consistent. He does, but he just doesn't have the consistent support, does he?
No, it's a difficult one because I watched the game and you could tell he was just like he was the best player on the pitch against Brentford, but it was just like this United team. It's so difficult to watch at times. Like it's just frustrating. I can't imagine it as a fan, like how frustrating it is that you've got all these top quality players and then it just seems like everyone's kind of just running through mud and there's no real clear plan. Someone in the comments as well suggesting Højlund as a potential option. I do think it's a great shout as well. If I might say so myself, not to big myself up, but it is whether or not you do back Manchester United, a team that...
Well, yeah. I think Solanke would be the sensible one potentially because it would just, he's going to play the majority of the game bar an injury or a suspension.
Yeah.
And the 2 home games are really good, and it saves you a little bit extra money as well going into like a wild card potentially. So I do think that might be something that I would consider. I appreciate that advice, Mr. FPL Tom.
Oh, what can I say? On penalties as well. On penalties.
There you go.
But Bournemouth are pretty crap.
They are, but they're at home, and I think that's the one thing. Home to Wolves and home to Burnley. I think you've really got to. I think that their staff will be like, we've got to be getting at least 4 points from those games.
We feel if they don't get a win out of those games, is it time for Iriola to go? Because they haven't won a game yet. So
yeah,
surely he's got to be looking at these next 2 as I have to win one of them to keep my job.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially that Burnley one.
Yeah, Burnley one stinks because Wolves have looked quite strong in the past few weeks.
Yeah. Well, they seem a little bit hit and miss, don't they? 1 week they're kind of on it. The next week,
Depends if Pedro Neto fancies it.
Yeah. Pedro Neto's a really, really frustrating player, as we'll come on to talk about with my team. But yeah, he's made my list. He's made my list of people that I'm never ever buying in FPL again. But yeah. Any final thoughts on your team, Jake?
No, all good. I'm intrigued to know what yours is looking like.
All right, we'll start off with my game week 8 points. Obviously, I did wildcard this week, and you know what? I'm pretty happy with the wildcard. It set me in a good place. We've got all the players in that I wanted to get in. I think I did do it at the right time. I looked at what I got if I didn't wildcard. I think it was about 38 points, which was stinky. very stinky if I didn't wildcard. So I did the right thing, wildcarded. Lots of players have had price rises as well over that time period. Cash has had about 3. Turner has had 1. I think Salah's gone up in price as well. Maddison and Son have both gone up. So there's lots of price rises that I've been able to get a hold of, build a bit of good team value. And you know what? The team performed quite well. Obviously, I went with Son captain as well, like you. Didn't really work out, but, you know, it is what it is. That game could have completely changed. Number one, if Ped Porro puts that chance away early in the first half, that's a Son assist. Everyone's giggling. Haaland, captainers are mudded. And then, obviously, that red card completely kind of flipped the game. You know, Spurs were on top. I think they'd created about 1.5 XG in that first half alone.
Oh, like the first 15 minutes, they could have been 3 up.
That's what I mean. That red card completely changed the game, meant that Spurs just had to maybe look for substitutes. And I think something worth noting for when Spurs do have good fixtures again is maybe do we not captain Son, because he's not seeing out 90 minutes, which is a concern. And as well, over the international break in the game yesterday for South Korea, he came off just limping at half-time and then continued to play for another 35 minutes. It's just what is this lad made of? Surely at one point he's just going to break down and just cry.
I swear he's been in the military though, hasn't he? So
yeah, he's hard. He's a hard lad. He's he's one of them. Other players, Højlund, like we said, I think for this week is the week that I really wanted him for that Sheffield United fixture. Hopefully he can do something good because they're terrible at the back. The big one for me, the big letdown was Diaby. I was kind of umming and ahhing on the deadline stream whether or not to go Pedro Neto or Diaby. And I was like, oh, you know what? I think Diaby's going to play, so I think I'm just going to go with him. Went with him, came off in the 60th minute, picked up 2 points. Pedro Neto, on the other hand, got an assist, didn't he? Got an assist. And he's got the better fixture this week. So that really annoyed me. But, you win some, you lose some. It's just...
Yeah, watch him absolutely slap at Diaby this week. You never know.
Yeah. I think Pedro Neto might have a good week, though, against Bournemouth. I'm not
going don't Solanke, lad.
But yeah,
got it in my head now.
It was a pretty good week. It was a pretty good week, to be honest. I picked up around 400,000 rank. So, we're slowly edging back to where we want to be. Still in a good position. We've played the wild card. The team's looking pretty good for this week, as we will come on to talk about right now. I think the team is in a pretty good position, to be honest. I'm not planning on making any transfers unless we get news of a potential Botman injury. That might be the only thing that potentially changes my mind. But even then, I might just play Charlie Taylor against Brentford, who've looked a little bit miserable over the past few weeks. So I think I might just save the transfer, take 2 into game week 10, and take Botman on the bench and put Taylor in if Botman isn't fully fit. But the rest of the team is looking pretty fit. It's looking pretty naughty, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I've gone with.
Do you prefer Taylor to Gahey?
Yeah. I feel like Newcastle score at home. You know what I mean? Although Crystal Palace has been really good at the back.
3 clean sheets in a row, lad.
Yeah, it's classic Woy ball, but I do feel like Newcastle are going to score.
And they've
at
got
home.
I don't know. Would you bet on Newcastle?
Well, someone has been doing. Someone's been doing. Shout out to Tonali. If you're looking for any kind of ACCA advice, he's the man to go to. I've heard. Some really good 6 folds from him this week. But yeah, I think that's the only thing that I'd potentially change in that lineup. I've gone with Haaland captain as well. I know he's been stinky, but I don't back the early kickoff. Son at Fulham, it's on Monday night, but with him hobbling around in the career game, he's probably not going to see out 90 minutes either. I'm just do I bother going with Son again? Whereas Haaland, I feel like he's just due a bit of a mega haul, and Brighton haven't kept a clean sheet so far this season.
Yeah,
they have looked a bit wobbly, especially in that game against you 2 weeks ago now. There's so much areas of that top quality teams can exploit. I mean, you found ways through them. Manchester City, you imagine, are going to have a really, really fun day out.
Especially at home.
Yeah, 100%. So I've backed Haaland. It is a 3:00 kickoff as well. I just feel this could be the week that he's back on track. Everyone who went without him in their wild cards is going to look like a bit of an idiot. But yeah.
Are people taking him out with their wild card?
Yeah. There's so many people, mate.
That's mad.
It's like a proper trend as well. I think there was someone in the comments earlier as well saying they've gone... someone's gone, I've gone with no Haaland. Very risky, but it's paid off one game week so far. So people are going big balls, Jake. They've got massive games.
Even I'm surprised.
Hey, lad, it's when he blanks again, and next week you're going... Yeah, I've taken Haaland out. I've taken him out. I've gone for Lyle Foster instead up front.
Got Dom Solanke and Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, I've gone for the big boys, the proper big boys.
Oh, actually, now that I say that out loud.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the squad, to be honest. I think game week 10, I'm going to take one of the Spurs midfielders out. I'm not really decided yet. It's going to be one of Maddison or Son. It's leaning towards more Son, just down to the fact that I think he's going to sustain an injury at some point, and he's not seeing out these games to the end. So I think I'd go Son to Saka as Arsenal plays Sheffield United in game week 10. That's a little bit of me. That's a bit of me if Saka's back fit. Hopefully he is. But yeah, we'll see on that one. What do you think? What do you think, lad? Go on.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I think you just play it by ear. I actually think your team looks quite nice, and I wouldn't like panic into something, especially after you've done your wild card. I don't think anything screams out that you need to change it. I think the only thing I'd suggest is maybe bringing Dom Solanke in. No, I think your team looks fine. I think the one place you maybe would need someone is in the defence, but if you fancy Charlie Taylor against Brentford, I can kind of see the logic there because Brentford have been a bit dire up top. But you'd think that Brentford would be fancying themselves in that game, so I don't know. Is there anyone of that price range that you could swap for, or is there not really anyone worth it?
It all depends, doesn't it, really, on around Botman's injury. Maybe... I don't know. It's really difficult to say, to be honest. Maybe Gabriel from Arsenal would be the player that I potentially look at. Like, their fixtures are pretty good. Like I said, Sheffield United next week. It is Chelsea away, which wouldn't be the best fixture, but then Sheffield United, Newcastle away, not great, but then Burnley, Brentford, Wolves and Luton. It's a really, really nice run, so that could be potentially something that I do with Botman.
Yeah.
That could be an option. If we get news that, Botman's not fit, I think I'd go Gabriel. And get my heart broken yet again, like at the start of the season.
You've actually got... I'll have to have a look and see if there's anyone that you could take. Is there anyone that's 3.9 million that you could swap for Taylor?
Not really, to be honest. What's wrong with Charlie Taylor anyway?
Nothing, mate. Nothing at all.
Yeah, you come for my Chaz Taylor,
Hey, mate, Paul Dummett's here.
Paul Dummett. Not Paul Dummett, lad. Can't be doing with him. Tom in the YouTube chat has said that he's been Haalandless since the start of the season. He said sometimes it's worked, sometimes it's hurt. I think the other teams have figured him out. Controversial.
What about Johnny Evans?
It's a shout. That is a shout. That is a bit of a shout, Their fixtures are pretty decent.
It just depends if he plays, though, doesn't it?
It does depend if he plays. But I think he will with all their injuries that they're getting at the moment. So
yeah, and he had a decent... He's not really been that bad either.
No. Maybe I just go Botman to Evans, save the money. Delicious.
That would be a fantastic signing.
Scrummy. I'd get called a massive fraud by everyone. Yeah. Sheffield United home. I mean away. Great fixture.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, Baba.
Well, they were terrible, weren't they, against Newcastle at set pieces?
They were.
So maybe that's the Johnny Evans special. Because didn't he score in the one of the games and he got disallowed or something?
Yes. Yeah.
And then he got the assist anyway.
Yeah, it was in the Burnley game.
Yeah, he scored. It was disallowed and then got an assist for Bruno, didn't he? So Johnny Evans, mate.
Playmaker, goal scorer.
Maestro.
Ladies' man. As
I
I've
heard
heard.
that.
Yeah.
I think he took notes off Harry Maguire,
Yeah. He's got the riz. A bit like me and you,
Oh, yeah. Just with the ladies instead of
with
us.
the ladies.
men.
Yeah. they're always, just flooding in this chat, asking us questions. Not about FPL, like, oh, what are you up to tonight?
Yeah.
Just like, sorry, babes, I've got to tinker with my team.
Sorry, lads. I don't know if I want Johnny Evans in my team. That's more important.
Yeah. She's like, no, don't go for that, Johnny. Use a Johnny on me instead. And you go, no, sorry, pal.
More important Johnny's about right now.
More important Johnny's about. What a tangent. What a tangent that was. Let's move on to some more absolute mess. We're going to talk about Bedshitter of the Week, our illustrious competition where we hand out an award to the worst player for the previous game week. Previous winners have included Nicholas Jackson twice, and I think it was Son the week before that. Am I right in saying that? Or was it Son? Or was it Estupinian? No, it was Estupinian.
Yeah.
Estupinian for his own goal.
Jackson won't be winning it this week, I'll give you that.
No, he scored this week, mate. He's safe. He is safe for this week. So he's done some justice. I've got 2 players on the screen already right now, but I'm going to ask you, Jake, who was your bedshitter of Game Week 8?
So I think I need... Would you say bedshitter relies on the fantasy points he gets? Or do you just mean as a player himself?
I'm more leaning towards fantasy points, mate, as this is a fantasy show.
Yeah, because I'm going to say João Pedro was a bit of a bed shitter.
Oh, yeah, he missed that big sitter.
He should have scored there.
Yeah.
But full-on bed shitter? I think I'm going to have to stick with Son,
Yeah, I think it's a very fair shout, to be honest. Obviously, there was a lot of expectations. People captaining him, people even triple captaining him, and then he just did that, didn't he? Didn't really make it. Didn't even see out the full game. So I think it's probably a safe shout, to be honest. I'm gonna go with the other man on screen. I'm gonna go Marcus Rashford again. There was a lot of hope, expectation. People who hadn't wildcarded had him through this whole stretch since game week 1. They thought, this is the week. This is his final week where he can deliver for me before I sell him. And, he inevitably hauls against Sheffield United. But this is the week. Brentford, they look a bit shaky. We're at home. We're Manchester United. Comes off in the 61st minute. So, just prime Marcus Rashford, isn't it? He's going to score as well this week. He scored on international duty. Everyone sold him. This is the week he's going to come back and go, yeah, easy goal and assist, 15 points.
That's if McTominay doesn't play in left wing.
Well, they're going to put him up front. Rasmus Højlund is dropped, and they're going for the big man. So I will put the poll out there. We're going to go with Rashford versus Son for bedshitter of the week.
You see McTominay's free kick against for Scotland?
I did. It was fit, wasn't it? It was very fit.
I don't really understand how it got ruled out, to be honest. The joys of VAR.
Of the week. Right. That poll is up for you guys to vote now for your bed shitter of the week. Marcus Rashford and Son. Who do you think is worthy of this illustrious award for Game Week 8 as Jake decides to just break something yet again? What are you breaking? Because you've done that twice now.
I was hoping you weren't noticing.
No.
Trying not to get frustrated by the noise of my phone dropping. I'm trying to leave my phone next to my laptop so I can see the stream, and it just keeps sliding down.
Yeah, not.
It'll do it.
Yeah. Of course it will. Right. I mean, that's it. We've gone for our teams. We've done bedshitter of the week. Now we're just going to answer some of your guys' questions. Have a little bit of a chat. It's not been a long one, but we're just getting back into the swing of things. It's been the international break. We need a little bit of time off. We're back. So yeah, we're here to answer any of your questions about your teams, your dilemmas. And me and Jake are just going to chat about general football and general just fantasy football. So the big question I want to know, Jake, is where's your head at with this striker transfer? So obviously, you're thinking Solanke, but is there anyone else on the mind?
Well, I am a little bit gutted that you've had to put in the back of my mind that Darwin may be a doubt. Because I sent you that picture of him getting a goal and assist against Brazil last night, and my mind is set. I definitely think it will be a striker, just because I feel like it's time to be easing those Chelsea boys out. Um, and with Jackson being a bit of a doubt, it says a wrist injury on fantasy, so I'm not sure if that's something that's worthy of keeping him out. I feel like he still could start, but that Arsenal game is not going to be easy. I could even see Arsenal winning that, even though it is at Stamford Bridge. And their run just doesn't really fancy them. So I could see myself getting, like, if I'm gonna just commit to just Broja, I don't know who I'd replace him with. I know you're quite keen on me bringing in Lyle Forster, but
He's a big differential. I know you like them. He's only 1.1% owned.
this is true.
That run
There's no one
is
else really out there, unless I go for Duran or whatever at Villa.
Duran. For his 20 minutes off the bench where he scores every single time.
He literally does though, doesn't he? And some of his finishes are quite nice.
They are pretty filthy, aren't they?
Neil Maupay, home to Burnley.
Oh no, don't go there, lad. Don't go there. Stop yourself.
Oh, I'm so deep into this now. Yeah, there's not much option, to be honest, for Broja, which is why I think the best thing for me to do, because my team isn't the worst thing in the world. I think maybe the most sensible thing is to maybe go from Jackson to Solanke, save about, I think it's just about $1 million, maybe just a bit less than $1 million. I'm not too sure how much Jackson's worth. But yeah, save the money on there, and then I can maybe just invest in a better striker to partner him in replacing Broja. I think that's where I'm going to go with it. Yeah. Could even do it in the same week.
Yeah, -4.
It could be a straight -4, a straight in 1 week for Broja and out the next.
Good old Broja, eh?
Yeah, I'm intrigued now to see, but yeah, I think so. Do you reckon what are you most likely to do right this second? Just sticking, or are you going to twist, do you reckon?
I think the most logical thing that I'm going to do right now is stick.
Yeah.
Because the team's in a pretty good place. I don't think there's anything drastic that needs doing. I think the only thing that I potentially would do is around that Botman injury, and I think Gabriel would be the player that I'd potentially go for there. Okay. Arsenal have been pretty good defensively, good fixtures coming up. It seems like he's back in the side. I hope. I think that's the only thing. And then, but realistically, I would like to take 2 into next week.
Yeah.
Gives me a little bit more freedom and choice to kind of see what's happening after the international break, because there's always weird injuries, isn't there? And there's always just random occurrences that happen, and players come in a form, players come out of form. There's so much that could happen. So I'd like to take 2 into that game week 10, but we'll just see how it plays out.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just looking like it's just impossible. Ollie Watkins is so expensive now, but his run is delicious.
Yeah, the Villa fixtures coming up are ridiculous. Like, absolutely insane. That's why I've got Matty Cash and Diaby, like, to try and hopefully cover him off, but...
Matty Cash has probably been my only day one I've got. Him and Pickford.
Yeah, he's been a really good pick.
It's lasted this long, I don't know.
Hey lad, he got on a return. He got a return last week. So,
he did.
He's back. He's back, baby. You're playing him in the derby.
All I'm saying is, hear me out. If I were to take out Jackson and bring in Solanke, I could take out Broja and bring in Beto.
No, not Beto.
Or Dom.
No, why? They've got Liverpool.
No, I'm just losing my head.
Yeah. You're going to be in the deadline stream chat. By the way, this is a little sneaky plug. There is a deadline stream, 9 o'clock on Saturday. Be there. We'll be answering the questions. But Jake will be in the TikTok chat.
How do I skip this advert?
Just skip. But Jake will be there. It's a self-promotion, lad. It's a plug for you as well. It's a plug for you. Jake will be in there. He'll be asking me many questions about, whether or not a -4 and some random player who has randomly sprung into your mind is going to just appear on Saturday morning. And you're going to go, you know what? Cunha
Well,
from Wolves. He
you
looks
know
really
who's only
good.
5 mil?
Oh God.
Divock Origi.
Oh no, 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 no. Have you seen
It's
how
a shame he
fat
doesn't
he
play, to
is?
be fair, because he's got Luton at home and then he plays Liverpool, and I could see him scoring against us.
What about Chris Wood, lad? Here we go. Here we go. It started. It started. The cogs in your brain are just ticking, going. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I'm out. I'm out. The options are just too. They're
Mm.
just making my mouth water. I know, but in all seriousness, I think Solanke for Jackson's the sensible option.
Yeah, yeah. That makes good sense.
Long may it last.
Long may it last, mate. Come Saturday morning, all that sense will be gone. All that sense will be gone. Right, I'm gonna ask you our favourite question on the stream. Highest scoring game of the game week.
I kind of am feeling what you're saying about Haaland and City. Like as much as I do like Brighton and they are a really decent side,
Mm.
I could see City absolutely pummeling them.
Back-to-back
Uh,
defeats. Pep a little bit angry.
I just look at the other ones. Like the derby could go one of two ways. Could be dead tight, or could be like. I can't see both teams scoring. Like I can't see it being a 3-2. I really
Mm.
can't. I can see it being like a 1-0, a 0-0, or like a 5-0.
Yeah.
Whereas I can't see it being like a tight, like back and forth goal game. I don't see Bournemouth and Wolves, Brentford, Burnley. They don't scream get goals, do they?
No.
Um, Forest, Luton, like God knows. And then Sheffield United, I could even see that being goalless.
That seems like a
Yeah,
1-0 win, and it's like a proper
yeah,
scrummy little penalty goal or something.
definitely a penalty or something. Yeah, or a Johnny Evans header from a corner.
Well, Big Johnny, you know.
No, lad, if Johnny Evans scores, I will be first to remind you.
Straight in the stream next. Oh, wait, there's no stream next week.
Why?
We're not here, are we, on Wednesday?
Oh yeah.
It just took you a second to go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're not here next week.
What are you gonna do about that one?
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Why don't we just find some library and do it at like 4 o'clock?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just live on the streets of Manchester. We're just there. Just so. Welcome to the stream.
Let's see what Mac Ayres thinks.
Yeah, we're in, just Piccadilly Gardens is in the back. Just tramps like wrestling with each other and stuff. I think that'd make a nice backdrop.
That would make a wonderful backdrop. I don't think there's much better, to be honest.
I mean, it's better than like two crappy shirts and then yours, which is just some curtains. You know.
Hey, lad, this is yeah, it is. I don't even have anything witty to say. It's
Yeah.
just curtains. To be fair, I've been promised blinds for the whole year of my tenancy, and now my tenancy's coming up. They're charging me more, and they haven't improved my curtains.
Oh.
But anyway, you answer your question. To answer your question,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go City Brighton. I think that could be like a 5-2.
All right. I rate that. I do rate that. I'm going the other
yeah.
way. I'm going the other way. I always go for the games that they pong of a 0-0, but they're the ones that just throw out goals sometimes.
I'm not gonna lie, lad. I thought Forest Palace ponged of a 0-0, and that came through.
Just about. I'm going to go with Bournemouth and Wolves was the highest scoring game. Dominic Solanke is going to get a hat-trick. Neto is going to be involved.
I'm with you.
Yeah. You're all for that.
No, I can get behind that one, yeah.
Yeah. If you was going to bring in one player, you've got unlimited budget, right? And you're recommending one player that people should be buying this game week. Who's that player?
Well, all those buggers that have decided to get rid of Haaland for one. But other than that, got the tension. I'm not actually sure. That's actually a really good question because I would probably say Ollie Watkins.
Very good shout.
I think especially for their run, I think he looks like the real deal at the moment. He just seems to be involved in everything. Like the Brighton game, like if he wasn't scoring, he was assisting. Like I do really fancy Ollie Watkins. It's a shame I can't afford him. So I feel like if he does do something of a return this week, especially against West Ham, who aren't going to be an easy opponent, I might be tempted to wildcard just so that I can get him in. So yeah, I'd probably go Ollie Watkins.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think I'd go Salah. You know.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm saying that because I haven't got Watkins actually, to be fair. But yeah, Salah is a sensible shout.
Like I wildcarded to get Salah back. Me
Mm.
taking him out was probably one of the dumbest decisions I've had. But you know, we're here, we're back. The fixtures for
Still in
you
the
guys
top
come back.
450,000, lad. So
Yeah, it's because he's still ridiculously low owned. He's like 35%
mm,
owned. Like you're still gonna get attacking return. I didn't even captain him this week, and I was still getting attacking returns out of him.
same.
That TPS player has asked us to listen to Pompeii / emotional damage mashup live on stream. No. No is the answer
Is
to
it
that
going to
question.
be something dodgy?
Probably. So
It'll probably be that sex music, won't it, or something?
yeah. We'll listen to that off stream, you know. If you've got any other song requests, you know, me and Jake, we're quite musical. We're musical men. Would you
We
say?
are very musical, man.
Yeah. You know, Jake plays the piano. Is that right?
I wouldn't sell it that I play the piano. I can. Oh, he's done it. I wouldn't sell it that I play the piano. I'd just
Mm,
sell it that like I can play a few notes.
yeah.
But, nothing professional. But like, no, lad, we're both professionally trained singers, classically.
Classically.
Or were you opera?
I was more delving into the opera at times,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. Well, what another random tangent on this absolutely crap show that we've got here. Mans has asked, should I play Gabriel or Pau Torres this weekend?
I'd say I would. Oh my god.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd probably say Pau Torres.
I think I'm leaning more towards Gabriel.
You reckon?
Chelsea haven't been very free flowing in front of goal.
No, but it's just the fact that Arsenal are away. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I get that. Still unbeaten though. You know,
True.
looking pretty good at the moment. One of the best defenses in terms of XG conceded. I'm just throwing. You know, we're disagreeing. That's what.
And I don't like it.
Yeah. Jackie, it doesn't work if we disagree. We have to always be agreeing. All right.
Goddamn Jackie.
Cool.
Sorry, didn't mean it.
Yeah. That TPS player is asking if we could sing something, but you know, not quite. Give us game week 38, then we'll sing something.
Feel like if Mansfield go up, you'll sing something.
Oh, 100%. If Mansfield go up, I'll probably what's a daft thing that I could do on this stream that we
Sing
could
the
definitely
Akins
go?
chant, maybe.
No, that's probably channel's gone.
Yeah, probably.
There's got to be something I could do. Get your comments in.
Bring out your own Gary Lineker and do a stream in your boxes, lad.
Oh god, yeah, that one we might have to set up an OnlyFans, and then
No, that would be well funny. If Mansfield win the league, I reckon. Or like, why don't you say if Mansfield beat the 100-point threshold, you got to do a stream in your boxes.
I can't. I physically can't. Like we're gonna end up in prison.
Well, Gary Lineker got away with it.
What about if I did one in a hot dog costume?
All right, sound yeah, okay. But then
Yeah.
like I'm gonna negotiate that to the Mansfield just have to win the league for that.
Yeah. I was thinking about putting a hot dog costume on anyway for like the.
Have you got a hot dog costume? You're liking this hot dog costume
No,
talk?
I was looking at it for like the final deadline stream. Just randomly rock up in a glizzy costume.
I think a glizzy costume would be perfect,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
if Mansfield have just glizzied at the top.
Yeah, just glizzied everyone away. Yeah, if you're into glizzies, do come along for that stream.
What's that TPS player on about, by the way?
I have no idea. I think he's lost it. I do think he's lost it in the chat.
Gabriel scored for Brazil.
Yeah, I was going to say Gabriel scored for in a
What
hot
game
dog.
was that? The game before Uruguay, I assume.
Yeah, it must have been in a hot dog costume while eating a hot dog.
A vegan one, lad.
Yeah, vegan one. Come on, lads. Like I don't like meat in my mouth. So.
Where do you like meat? Lad? No, have you seen how Alisson's just not played for Brazil for ages?
Are they playing Edison?
Yeah, they've been playing him for since the World Cup.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, mad.
So is he still travelling to international duty and stuff?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit heavy on Klopp, that, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah. Well, at least he's. I guess as much as it's a bit of a pain that he's travelling, at least he's
not
not
playing.
exerting himself too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, let's end this poll. Let's end this poll as bed shitter of the week and give that award out. Right. The vote has ended. Oh, it's a shock one. It's a
Wow.
shock one this week. I was thinking Son was going to win it, to be honest.
No one liked.
Rashford takes bed shitter of the week for Game Week 8
I'm
with the
shocked as well.
63%. Son only accumulating 36% in the end. Thank you to everyone who voted. We will get that award sent to Marcus Rashford. You know, he's got to put it onto the side. Like, he's got his MBE or whatever he won. But, you know, what will be actually on the, you know, the mantelpiece at home?
I think it's going to have to be that bed shitter of the week.
Yeah, it's going to be the bed shitter of the week trophy, to be honest. Everyone wants it. It's a coveted prize. It is a coveted prize.
It really is.
Do
And I mean,
remember
I think he'll have him and his family watching will have been speechless right now because they wouldn't have expected to have been so fortunate to have won this prize.
Yeah. It's a great prize. Real
I
life.
feel like that's probably as nearly as surprising as Tommy Fury's win at the weekend.
Wow, yeah. Bit of controversy. Ooh. Bit of boxing. Ooh.
But
Anyway.
a boxing.
Anyway, I don't have anything else to add to this stream. Do you have any final remarks for the stream, Jake?
No. Just hope that TPS player is all right because I'm not too sure what he's saying.
Yeah, hopefully so.
But yeah, no, it's been a nice stream. Nice to be back, and hopefully we can work something out where we're still able to do a stream one day next week. I'm sure we will.
Yeah. We're losers. We don't have a social life, you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, we will be
Well,
back.
one time in our lives we have a social life. It happens to be when we've got a fucking stream.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
You're gonna have to bleep that out, aren't you? Sorry about that.
Oh no.
Sorry,
Jamie,
kids.
Jamie's just come extremely late. He's put, bollocks. Better extremely late than never. Let's go, boys. Thanks for your support, Jamie. But yeah, we are wrapping up, mate. We will be back. Well, I'll be back on Saturday at 9 a.m. for the deadline stream. So if you do want to come to that, 9 a.m. on YouTube and TikTok, I will be answering as many of your questions. Jake will probably be having a breakdown on which striker he wants to bring in as well. So that's always worth a little bit of entertainment. But yeah, thank you very much for watching today, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your day and good luck this game week.